All right, so here's what I've got going on today. I've got vlog number 2 for you. And here's what it is. It is a product that is big enough to ship on a pallet. That's it right there. So we're gonna get that all prepared and out the door, and I'll kind of show you what it takes to get that rolling. It's sold on eBay. Pretty cool. All right, let's do this. All right, so here's the situation with this guy here. This is called a Trip Light Ups system, and basically it's a big ass battery for a server. The thing is heavy as hell. It's about 85 pounds. The pallet itself is about, 45 pounds, 40 pounds or so. So, 130 pounds in there, all said and done. But yeah, this sort of sucker is, you don't want to lift this up by yourself. I did, but yeah, I regretted it. But this is like something that would be kind of too big primarily, and possibly just too much of a pain in the ass to ship through FedEx. So I posted it on eBay, and I basically made the shipping like expensive, essentially. And so because I made the shipping expensive, typically what happens in that case is somebody that really wants it will then ask you, hey, can I use my shipping company and my postage and my whatever? No problem. So I kind of expected that, and anybody that's looking for this type of item, they're kind of expecting to pay a bunch in shipping, and they're most likely going to be the type of people that are looking to negotiate the price as well. So anywho, that's what happened. Okay, so once I gave the go-ahead for them to use their own shipping, then what happened is I changed the listing to pick up locally, and then they made the purchase. Then they arranged the shipping after that. Now, you've got to give them some specs on this sort of stuff so that they can arrange the shipping. So here's what you have to give them. This is info you have to give them is you have to give them the weight. And that's the weight of the pallet and the package wrapped combined. So you got to give them all that. Then you have to give them the height. And we're not talking just the height that's on the box here. We're talking about the height from the floor to the top of the package. So that's the other piece of info you need to give them. They already know what the item is, so that's not a big deal, but that's the info you got to give them. You have to give them your pickup address, your contact name, and also your phone number. So when the trucker shows up, they can get in contact with you. On local pickups like this, once they purchase the item, eBay's fine with you giving out all your information because they need to pick it up. So at that point, you can give out all your, phone number, anything like that you want, your address, all that sort of stuff. Don't give that information out before, okay? So don't give that out before because then eBay might flag it. But afterwards, after they pay for it, it's all fair game. So, all right, so let's get this sucker ready to go. All right, so don't let this process intimidate you. This is such a whoa, tripod fell off. So before we get into it, I just want to say, don't let this process intimidate you. I actually sent my first couple pallets out of my garage when I very first started this. Now I was sending them into Amazon, so I wasn't actually having a customer pick them up, but process is pretty much exactly the same. So like I said, don't let it intimidate you. We're gonna start with the first step here, and the only reason we're doing this first step is because the item is so short and it's so heavy. So typically what you would do is you would wrap the entire pallet in plastic wrap, and that would be good enough. But we're actually gonna strap this one down. I've got some poly straps, and this is stuff that can be purchased off of Amazon. It's not something you need all the time. It's good to have if you're gonna put multiple packages together. But the only reason I ordered off of Amazon is basically it got here fast and I needed it quick for a job I had. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna strap this down, and then we're gonna wrap it in plastic. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and strap it down. Here's what we've got for strapping supplies. We've got the strap tensioner. We've got the strapping itself, which is this stuff. So you've probably seen it. You probably cut it off a package or a box you've gotten before. We've got the crimper and cutter, and we've got the little middle crimpers. So these actually crimp on to this and hold it tight. So I'll show you how to do all this. But yeah, like I said, don't be intimidated by this. This is all crap you can get off of Amazon, so no big deal. It's all, I think, under $100 total for all of it. There may be cheaper ways to get it, but I was in a hurry when I did it. So let's go ahead and strap this bad boy down here. So I'm going underneath the item and through the wood to hold on to it here. So this is going to take a few straps. This thing looks trickier than it is. Once you do it like once, you pretty much got it. Pretty much gold after that. All right, so this is going to tighten it up. Nice and tight to hold it in place. We're going to put a few more on here. Just get it tight enough so that it kind of makes a small dent on the edges. If I was good, I would have what are called corners, and they come in plastic. They also come in cardboard, and they basically are just pieces of cardboard, pieces of plastic that go in between the strap and the box, and they just protect it. But this item that I have is actually in a bigger box, as you can see. So it's surrounded by crushed paper and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really not crushing the product here. The product's inside, surrounded by paper. So, all right, so next up, I just have to take the little metal piece, put it around here. There you go. And the last step is just to cut it, and you just press this down, cut it and slide it out. There you go, that's one strap. So now just rinse and repeat for the whole thing here. So it's all strapped up. I didn't go overboard on the straps because essentially this thing is heavy as hell, so it's not really going anywhere. So I did 2 to stop the back and forth movement a little bit, and then I did 1 to stop the lateral. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna reinforce it even more. We're gonna wrap it in plastic, and it's pallet wrap plastic. This sort of plastic you can actually get at like Walmart, you can get it at Lowe's, that sort of thing. I ordered it in Uline because I use a decent amount of it. Oh man, I order at Uline because I get a decent amount of it, but essentially all it is like clear plastic, just like you would wrap a sandwich in. It's just bigger plastic that you would see at like Lowe's, Home Depot, that sort of thing, even U-Haul. So it just comes on a tube. You essentially just tie one end of the plastic down to one of the corners, and then you just walk around the thing over and over again just to get it nice and tight. And you can tie other ends down if you want to kind of secure it. But this is just such a short load. Like I said, typically you don't need to strap anything. You can just, you know, it'll be big enough that you can just wrap the whole thing in plastic and it will stay. This is going on a truck, so it's not like going on like FedEx where they're going to be moving packages all over again. They're essentially going to be wheeling this off the truck in a pallet jack and back on a pallet jack. So it's going to stay relatively level. So you just have to have it secure enough so that it doesn't slide off the pallet. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. Nice and sturdy. Shouldn't be going anywhere here. So one of the things you need to communicate to the company that is actually purchasing the shipping and actually using their own account or what have you to pick up from you by a freight company is you need to tell them 2 different things when they're actually getting their quotes so they know in advance. And I probably should have said this earlier, but I just remembered. So here's the situation. You need to somehow get this thing from the ground into the back of the truck. Now, you know, your options are one of these guys, which most people don't have, or you need to tell them that you need a lift gate. All right. And so a lift gate, if you've ever seen the back of a truck and you've seen kind of a little elevator thing that goes up and down that, can pick stuff up and put it down, that's a lift gate. The reason being is because that's an extra charge. So that's usually around like a $75 to a $50 charge in there, and they'll be charged to them. Now, a lot of trucking companies don't necessarily have lift gates on their trucks. It's a lot easier to buy a truck without that lift gate. That lift gate requires maintenance, all kinds of stuff. It goes up and down. It's carrying heavy loads. Some of the truckers back into stuff too hard and it dents it up. So that's why there's that extra charge for a lift gate. So, and then you also need to tell them that you need the trucker to come with a pallet jack if you don't have one. And here's what a pallet jack looks like. All right, so this is a pallet jack. And essentially, it's just something that wheels out. Then you wheel it up underneath the pallet, so that way you can at least wheel it to the truck. Now, a lot of companies will come with their own pallet jack, but there's some that don't. So you want to be upfront about that so you're prepared. Now, back in the day when I was actually doing stuff out of the garage, I actually bought one of these suckers. It was like $200 or right in there somewhere. And I kept it in the garage because I planned on doing more pallets and stuff like that. It's handy to have because at the very least you can wheel it out to the truck. So again, those are the two pieces of information you need to give them. Do you need a lift gate? Yes or no? Do you have a pallet jack? Yes or no? So make sure to give that to them when they're looking at pricing everything out, so that way they can, know what to expect when they arrive. There you go. Like butter. So this is what you'll use to wheel it out to the truck. That's the pallet jack I was talking about. So when they're all ready, we'll just take it out. If they've got a lift gate, great. If they don't, then we'll bring out the stagger stacker and we'll use that. In the meantime, I have to clear all this crap out of the way of the front door. Bad place to park that stuff. Those are all Amazon returns from like Q4. Ugh. All right, I was hoping to show you guys loading it in the truck, and we were gonna use that big stagger stacker right there. That was the plan, but the guy showed up a little early. He knocked on my door. I was watching TV in the front offices, and I was like, hold on, let me go open up the big bay door and back. So I went ahead and did that, and then we took a look at the pallet, and he goes, well, why don't we just lift it up ourselves? So that's what we did. So we each grabbed an end of the pallet and just both physically lifted it up into the truck, and it was light enough where two big dudes could put it in the back of a truck. And so that was it. So it's off. So it's gone. So, so sad. But one last item that you kind of have to do when you do this is you have to supply a bill of lading. And so a bill of lading, basically all it is a piece of paperwork, and it just says, where the item's being picked up from, where it's going to, what it is, how much it weighs, that sort of thing. And it's the person that actually buys the freight. So the person that, shops around, gets the quotes, that sort of thing. Once they settle on a freight company, that's who supplies you with the bill of lading. So they just send it over to you. You don't even have to know what it is. Just print out 2 copies, sign one. The trucking company will sign the other one, and then they'll put a little sticker on it, and the sticker is your tracking. The tracking is called a PRO number. And so that tracking can actually be put in the trucking company's website into their tracking, and you can see kind of where it is along the route. You can also give that PRO number to the person that placed the order from you. So that's it, it's gone. Oh, so sad. Hopefully somebody orders another one. But anyways, let me recap for you without all the needed explanation, because it's not as scary as it sounds. So I just want to give you guys just a quick overview of the whole thing beginning to end, and I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with words. So here's how it goes down. You put an item up on eBay, you put an approximate freight cost, make it a little high. You could also put local pickup only if you wanted to, but I find if I put a high freight cost, then somebody who's looking at getting the item, they'll message you separately and they'll ask about buying their own freight. So that's that. Let them buy their own freight, and then all that needs to happen is you just need to put the thing on a pallet, wrap it in plastic, and that's it. And then they'll give you a bill of lading, which is that paperwork. Like I said, you don't even need to know what it is. Just print out 2 copies, sign one, that's it, and you're done. So all's good, and that's how it works. So don't be scared to ship, you know, big ass items. Just make sure that they're wrapped so that they'll stay on that wood pallet pretty well, and let them figure out their own freight costs. If you want to research it on your end, you can. If you want to be that person that supplies an accurate freight cost best you can do that, but you got to kind of shop around. The only question mark is you never know where the damn thing's going. So that's why you kind of price it high and then let people either talk you down or supply their address or just find their own damn freight. So, all right, that's how it works. I hope that helps, guys. Like I said, I was doing this out of my garage before I ever got a warehouse, and I didn't have any of this crap. So that's how I rolled. Anyways, I'll have another video a little bit later, but thanks for tuning in. Clicky, clicky, like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel, man. Come on, let's do it.